All right, let's do something easy now. Let's go cloud hands, okay? Watch how I do cloud hands, okay? So we said it's a crab walk. We said we're like at faces of the clock, the face of the clock rather. And we said that we should never raise our shoulders just because the top hand says it's higher up. Everything is dropped so that your feet feel heavier. So when I'm doing this, I'm grounded here. When I lift and put this, I still am grounded. But once I pass the 12, the weight shifts. Then that 9 o'clock foot can be weightless, right? Oftentimes my 12 o'clock, the bottom hand lags. What do I mean? I advance the top hand at 12, but this guy is dragging. But ideally, this guy should be here. And what? Turning of the hips and waist. Turning of the hips and waist. So if you're not sure if you're turning your hips and waist, keep your feet stable. Turn the hips and waist. The more I turn, the more my hands get out there. But we're not looking at that far, but making the point that if you turn your hips and waist, it's sort of, and then I was very, when I started teaching 13 years ago, I said, I never want to, I'll put in a positive, I always wanted to keep what my master taught us and never forget the form. But I also remembered that when he used his instructions and I got the translation, that the bottom hand was as if it were holding a cup. And then I got to thinking, and then Ken and I were talking, and I decided that I'm going to change it. So this is how I've changed it. I come to my 12 o'clock, then I sort of form my cup just before I change the position of my hand. So why did I do that? I just felt that once I have this cup here, this shoulder was not raised, but it wasn't relaxed. So I said, clouds are floating. So I'm just going to let my body dangle a little bit more, and I'm fine with that. So I'm just passing that on to you. But I really want to impress upon you, because I have it in perfect examples where experienced students all of a sudden decide, I'm going to be the perfect cloud. Do you see what I did? I not only forgot about the flexing of my knee, and I'm fully weighted on 2 feet, but my shoulder went up. Whereas this is cloud hands. I'm not exaggerating where my shoulders are. This is my normal stance. The shoulders are dropped. So my foot that's holding the weight feels even heavier, as well as the foot that doesn't have weight is even lighter because this is dropped. Okay? So can we try that as a drill, okay? So left hand on the top, right hand on the bottom. Okay, open. 1, 12 o'clock. Then you ask yourself, are you using your hips and waist? Are you soft on your hand and doing away with the cup somewhat? Okay, let's go the other way. So you saw that you had to use your hips and waist, otherwise your core was not engaged and it was merely a hand motion. If you're in level 24, we want to get away from hands. We want to use the whole body. We want to strengthen our core. Okay, and out into infinity, beyond the tips of your fingers. They shouldn't be studying your fingers. The glance is beyond the tip of the top hand fingers. Other way, okay? How do you get out to 3? You moved your hips and waist. How are you going to get out to 9? Turn the hips and waist, shift the weight. Spiral on that axle, open, shift the weight gradually, bear down, turn the hips and waist, open, middle, don't let that hand run away from you, keep it synchronized, don't hunch over, but don't arch your back, are your shoulders relaxed and down, the other way now, turn the hips and waist. So the emphasis, turning the hips and waist. And the bottom matches by opening or closing. So if at the end of this routine you feel that Tai Chi is soft, warm and fuzzy, and meditative, most likely you are relaxed, okay? And that is the nature of Tai Chi. The other way. Okay, opposites, flip and close that opposite. Turn the hips and waist. Okay, short one. Okay, just stand there. How are you going to get out to 3? Turn the hips and waist. Do not reach out there with your hands. Turn the hips and waist. Okay, let's turn it all the way and get to 4 o'clock. Turn, 5 o'clock, good. Okay, what? Turn out to 7 o'clock, almost at 6. So what are we saying? What are we proving? Our hips and waist are engaged. If our hips and waist are driving our movement, more than likely our core is working. Okay? Let's undo that now. Let's just use our hands, okay? This is wrong. Let's use our hands, okay? Use your hands. How do you use your hands? You can do anything with your scrambled your eggs, okay? But this time we're gonna do it in a form. We're gonna use only hands to do cloud hands, okay? Let's see how well we can do it. Hey, I can do it without even moving my waist. What about you? So good. So you found that in the experiment where we merely did our hands, we reached out to our numbers. We could keep the sky stable. But you also found that when you move the hips and waist and you just use the hands, there's something not connected. We were not using our body in the optimal way. We were not using the energy that we have in a coordinated, connected way. In that, if we put the hips and waist and the core together, the hands just float. Right? But once we did away with our hips, it became merely an arm motion. I'm not even using my core. You also saw that when I used my hips and waist and I was only putting my emphasis on my hands, this guy was just swaying for the reason of just swaying, and this guy was just swaying because it wanted to, but nothing was engaged back here. But once we put a third layer on and we say, it's hands, hips, back, that's helping us to move. I could say a fourth thing, the fourth thing being processing through my mind. What is it that I'm doing? Where is it that I'm supposed to be looking? Okay? So, Tai Chi can be done in many levels, okay? Superficially, which is fine because you're stepping into something new. Then gradually you say to yourself, what is my body doing to make it more efficient?
Cloud hands is sort of an elegant movement. It's the quintessential Tai Chi movement. If you go down the street and you see somebody doing this, you say, man, it's sort of weird, but it looks beautiful, right? It must be Tai Chi, okay? And so it's sort of a paradox. We're teaching you martial arts based, but we're trying to be nice and gentle. But this stuff, and it looks so elegant. So elegant. But yet, you can just say, one, grab the guy, turns him this way. So this has it's block, and even when you're moving your feet, from here, shift your body. Bring your body together. And just before you open your block, you set yourself. You set yourself. Whether you're coming here just to sort of come along for the ride and you're going to do your turnaround and you're going to go this way. But in actuality, you're here, you're watching, you're trying to block this person. Or you're trying to grab him after you block him. But because he's so powerful and you have to deflect him, you use your legs and you turn your body. You see? Yeah. He's going to kick you, so you come from here, whoa, I got to watch this. So it's elegant, but from a martial arts standpoint, it can be very, very powerful. You use everything. You use here, you use this, you use this. All of those things happen. And yet, once you learn it, we want you to deliberately relax. That's the other benefit, health-wise, mentally, for your Tai Chi. It allows you to just float along. Float along. And they tell you, if you read up in Tai Chi, depending on the dialect, they refer to it as song. Or in the Cantonese, it's sung. Relax. You have to relax. Okay, and that's what we would like to get to you. The only reason why I explain the martial arts is just to say derivation, and there is a rationale behind why you move in a particular way. I want to introduce something also which just in my recent readings, although you hear it dabbling here and there, but there's a man named Ching Man Ching who was a disciple of Yang Cheng Fu. But he would stated to his students, apparently, there are 3 treasures in Tai Chi. And this is just one aspect of it. But this has to do with how to have and maintain proper posture. And the first is this thing called the bubbling well. And for a while I said, what's the bubbling well? And then it has to do with footing. And they locate the, quote, bubbling well or bubbling spring as the point between the ball of your foot and the side of your foot near the front, but just in the back, sort of like in the hollow of your foot. And this is where when you come down, whatever posture, you're down like this, and you're sitting down, you're planting your feet, you're rooting your feet. These are the bubbling spring is the point at which you're trying to root. Imagine in your mind that you are sinking. They talk about sinking, they talk about rooting, and they talk about just sinking, getting down. But you're trying to get your foot as firmly on the ground. So you do that. And the second treasure is the dantian here. So you align that one here with the foot there. And then the third is the imagery of your head is suspended So it's very, very light. And if you can practice that, it's a very interesting phenomenon. I've been trying to practice that. It's almost like taking an inventory. The minute I shift this way, I'm thinking here, here, here. The minute I shift to this way, here, here, here. Where am I? When I turn, I'm even doing that. I'm thinking, where's my foot? Is it lined up with my dantian? Is it lined up with the string in my head? And it really helps in terms of helping you. Otherwise, sometimes you get up with a kick and you start to wobble. If you can firm your footing, foot, dantian, head, up, out, okay? Takes a little practice, you gotta go through the litany.
Put on your dancing shoes, Yang 24. We have enough time. Complete, okay? Here we go. Yang 24, ready? Good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form, shift weight, open, rotate, deep breath, reverse, make yourself small, part the wild horse's mane, out and to the side, 1, sit back, out, wall, 2, sit back, out, shift weight, turn on that axle, 3, half step, hold your ball, spin, glance, lift off, white crane, drop, bisect, swirl back, look back, all together, brush knee 1, sit back, twist out, set it up, brush knee 2, sit back, out, swirl, glance, all together, 3, half step, sit back, rock the front, prelude on the heel, center, glance, all together, ear, lift, toe, heel, pivot on the front, knee, repulse monkey 1, center, glance, lift, all together, and repulse, 2, center, glance, all together, meet, 3, center, glance, lift, all together, modify that foot, and final. Hold your ball. We're going to first ward off, pause and reposition. Use the power of your core to sit back. Use your power of the core to push the energy. And separate and roll back, push down, use your core, never your hands. Sit back, twist, hold your ball, out L, ward off and pause, turn the hips and waist, roll down the bird still. Spiral in and out, use the energy that you stored well. Sit back, twist, 12, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, shift weight, hook, out across the face, push out, single whip. Drop the shoulders, sit back, twist, 12, 3, cloud hands, relax, concentrate, don't let anything disturb you. Last one. Watch that top hand, hook it, T-step it, out L, second single whip. Half step, sit back, pat your horse. Cross, step out, expansive circle, heel, gather energy center, kick out, right in, L stance, tuck the elbows, expansive circle, double punch. Sit back, open the fingers all the way, left hand, left foot up. Kick out on an angle, in, set up the hands, split, down, turn that hip, halfway, veer to the left, adjust the back foot, come up and out, golden cockerel. Toe, spin, hook, split, down, turn the hip, halfway, adjust the back foot, set, spin out, shift weight, down, golden cockerel. Heel, hold your ball, heel, spin, hands go for the rise, shuttle there, flip up, back, wrist out, ball, heel, spin, turn the hips and waist, shuttle there. Half step to the back, set up that right hand, over the top, down to the bottom, you see on an angle. One hand, two hands, foot, stretch out that knee, flash, arm, sink down, sit back, twist, fist, spin out, deflect, bring it in, parry, punch, strip the guy off of you, roll back, push him down, push him up, push him out, twist, open, in, embrace, move over, rotate up, bring him in, push him out. Drop the shoulders, tuck the elbows, make yourself small, flex your knees as you now. Close your form. Commencing form, shift weight, open, rotate, deep breath, reverse, make yourself small, part the wild horse's mane, out and to the side, one, sit back, out, wall, two, sit back, out, shift weight, turn on that axle, three, half step, hold your ball, spin, glance, lift off, white crane. Drop, bisect, swirl back, look back, all together, brush knee one, sit back, twist out, set it up, brush knee two, sit back, out, swirl, glance, all together, three, half step, sit back, rock the front, prelude on the heel, center, glance, all together, ear, lift, toe, heel, pivot on the front, knee, repulse monkey one. Center, glance, lift, all together, and repulse. Two, center, glance, all together, meet, three. Center, glance, lift, all together, modify that foot, and final. Hold your ball. We're going to first ward off, pause and reposition. Use the power of your core to sit back. Use your power of the core to push the energy. And separate and roll back, push down. Use your core, never your hands. Sit back, twist, hold your ball, out L, ward off and pause, turn the hips and waist, pull down the bird stick. Spiral in and out. Use the energy that you stored well. Sit back, twist, 12, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, shift weight, hook, out across the face, push out, single weight. Drop the shoulders, sit back, twist, 12, 3, cloud hands, relax, Concentrate. Don't let anything disturb you. Last one. Watch that top hand, hook it, T-step it, out L, second single whip. Half step, sit back, pat your horse. Cross, step out, expansive circle, heel, gather energy center, kick out, right in, L stance, tuck the elbows, expansive circle, double touch. Sit back, open the fingers all the way, left hand, left foot up. Kick out on an angle, in, set up the hands, split, down, turn that hip, halfway, veer to the left, adjust the back foot, come up and out, golden cockerel. Toe, spin, hook, split, down, turn the hip, halfway, adjust the back foot, set, spin out, shift weight, down, golden cockerel. Heel, hold your ball, heel, spin, hands go for the ride, shuttle there, flip up. Sit back, wrist out, ball, heel spin, turn the hips and waist, shuttle there. Half step to the back, set up that right hand, over the top, down to the bottom of the feet on an angle. One hand, two hands, foot, stretch out that knee, flash, arm, sink down, sit back, twist, fist, spin out, deflect, bring it in, parry, punch. Strip the guy off of you, roll back, push him down, push him up, push him out. Twist, open, in, embrace, move over, rotate up, bring him in, push him out. Drop the shoulders, tuck the elbows, make yourself small, touch your knees as you now. Here's your form. Okay, good job. See you next time. Shift weight. Last one. Kicking out. Last one. Holding our ball, T stance, root down, store that energy, L stance, move that energy, bow stance. Get a good turn of the hips and waist. Get a good rooting down. Move that energy. Use your core. Move only when you're stable. Know where your grounded or weighted foot is. Know your body. Keep your mind alert. The more you can store the energy, the more powerful your moves are, the more well-defined, the more apt you are doing the best Tai Chi you know how. Okay, getting into cloud hands. So you're going to probably wonder, well, what form? That's the only form. That's the 10 form that we do that, where we meet after a part of the wild horse's mane. I don't know what I'm doing actually. Okay, we're going into a single whip. Turn the wrist out. Half step. We're back into the 24. Lift up, pat your horse. Cross. Step out, left heel. Gather the energy. Make it expansive. Come up, tuck the elbow, kick out, right. In, L stance, tuck the elbow, expansive out, bonk him in his ears, sit back, twist all the way around. Tuck the elbows, left hand, left foot, out. In, down, stack and turn, halfway pivot, adjust the back foot, pivot yet again before you do a golden cockerel. Toe, spin, split, down, turn, pivot, adjust the back foot, adjust the front foot, come up, golden cockerel, heel, ball, heel spin, at the forehead, flip as you place that shuttle, sit back, twist out, center, heel spin, flip the upward hand as you shuttle, half step to the back, cross the hips and waist, set up the right hand, bend the back, front knee, one hand, two hands, foot, start, lash arms, sit back, twist, fist, toe, spin out, deflect, in, punch, strip, roll back, push him down, push him up, push him out, twist, open, in, embrace, move over, rotate, bring him in, push him out, drop the shoulders, tuck the elbows, flex the knees as you now close your form. Okay, coming forward now, okay? Single whip. Half step forward after that, okay? Single whip, half step forward, sit back, lift the front, pat your horse. Cross, step out, expansive heel, gather, center, kick out, right on an angle, in, heel on an L, expansive circle through the ears. Sit back, open fingers, pivot, left hand, weight it down on the right, the left foot can come up, kick out, left, in, hook, down. Okay, hook down, let's go this way now, okay? Hook down this way, okay? So what am I doing? I'm trying to say, yeah, listen to your body, do what you think it is, but also in the process, open up the mind so that you can get a little bit better, okay? Just don't say, I think I'm gonna do it this way. do it this way, but fill in with a little bit more. Okay, so we have just kicked out with our left, and we come down this way. Kicked out left, down here. So place your right foot, the heel on a bisection of a intersection of a tile. So you want to root down, you want to kick out with your left, and you want to then find that area right here, right? So the feet are parallel, the toe is in line with the heel, not this way, not this way, not this way, not this way, not this way. But the alignment is the toed foot, which is the left, should be in line with the heel of the planted foot, and the feet are parallel. But when the feet are parallel like this, it isn't for a few seconds. It comes down because it's stacking yourself down, but you're also turning. You're stacking and you're turning this hip so that you can go out this way. But if you don't stack and you turn too soon, you're not storing the energy. You're not doing Tai Chi. You're doing your own. So in spite of not being able to stack all the way to the ground like other people do, stack what you can, but you have to stack. You have to ground yourself, you have to root yourself. So at the same time, once you finish stacking, you're gonna start to turn. But you see that when I turn, I'm not turned in advance. I'm stacked and then turned so that I can get that momentum to come out. So it's very different, okay? So we kicked out left, we brought it in, we found our space, and this is the space we have. We have our hook hand here, not here. Not above here, which a lot of people do, but it's right about eye level, okay? And left hand is against your, not against, but equidistant from your right chest, okay? Coming down, start to turn with that hip rather, then turn with the hand, flare out to the left, set. Now, we didn't really adjust the back foot. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, just depending on where your shoe or how flexible or slippery that tile is. Now, to be a golden cockerel, you have to take that moment to flare out with your heel to the left, then come up as a golden cockerel. Okay, give that time to come out first. Okay, so let's try it one more time. So, split out, down, down, turn, halfway, allows you to veer to the left. Then you're gonna adjust the back foot, turn it in, and you're down like this. Then just the split second before you come up with your hand, you're gonna pivot on the left heel and shift the weight and come up. One more time. Heel, split, down, start to turn that hip. At halfway, you're gonna veer to the left with your heel and your hand. Before you set, you're gonna turn the back foot, so now it's a good 45 degree. Before we do a golden cockerel, at the same time you do it, you're gonna spin out with your left heel and shift the weight and come up as a golden cockerel. Okay, I get to watch. Toe down, spin, left hand higher, we're gonna do the other side. Split, sit down, start to turn, spin out to the right, adjust the back foot before you set. What do you do now? Pivot on the right heel, come up, golden cockerel. Okay, your turn to watch. So, what I want to impress upon you is that although I'm taking the pieces, the sub-movements really slowly and very deliberately, once you understand them and you do it together, they will give you more support. But right now, maybe in trying to give you the instructions for the details, it's not clicking all the way through, okay? So I'll do it in the configuration that we just did, okay? So I have my foot here. I just kicked out, I brought it in, this is my space. I have my hand here, okay? I'm going to come down, and I'm going to start to turn my hip. At the same time, I'm down to the middle. I pivot at the same time, my foot and my hand, and I've already started to actually convert my back foot, so that wasn't a good piece right there, but it worked for me in that I did attend to it. When I come up as a golden cockerel, I need to spin out, top matches the bottom, and then come up this way. What did I mean by top matches the bottom? So I was in this configuration, and I said that you needed to spin. You need to take this time to come out, shift the weight, and come up. Down, here, split, down. This is a little harder side for me. Halfway, I start to spin this way. Watch what happens to the back foot before I set. I pivot again. Okay, what happens now? I'm going to pivot yet again as I then come up. Okay? Yeah? So when I just did this last one, I found myself too wide. I couldn't get my pivoting, I couldn't get my momentum to come up. So in every case, in each of the sub-movements here, it's your call, okay? But what I'm trying to teach you is the angle, the pivoting that will help you, but as to the span, that's your call. But let me tell you that if you think it's too difficult and you want to save your energy and save yourself from making it more difficult, do not cheat and come in closer, because that will make it even harder. So it's really concise in that, depending on your body stature and how you can hold your weight is dependent on the span, okay? All right, let's try it. And then we'll give up afterwards, and then you take it home, okay? Because we can't dwell on something continuously and make it perfect, but over a space of time. We kicked out, come in, down, okay? Down. What are we going to do? Stack, and then we're going to start to turn our hip. Our hand is now down to the middle. We're going to turn the wrist. We're going to turn the left heel out. Before we set, we're going to turn the right heel in. Oh, wow, that feels a lot better. Then we're going to turn with our left heel out. At the same time, push down and come up. Golden cockerel. Toe, spin, set up the left hand. Split, stack yourself. Then start to turn that hip. Halfway turn, spin out to the right. Adjust the back foot. Then what? Pivot to the right of the front foot at the same time. Come up as a golden cockerel. Heel comes out on an L stance. Hold your ball. Heel comes out on the right. Spin the ball. As it goes to the forehead, flip it as you put your shuttlecock there. Sit back. Pivot out. Hold your ball. Spin heel, forehead. As you put it there, flip that top hand. Okay? Heel out, hold your ball. Heel out, spin, flip, shuttle. Sit back, out, ball, spin, turn, flip, there. Okay, that's what I want to practice now, okay? So what? This way, yeah? Yeah, okay. Angle to the right, right hand on the top, left foot ready to go, left hand on the bottom. Holding your ball, we're gonna shuttle to the left, okay? Rooting down, step out, spin the ball. As it goes to the forehead, flip and put the shuttlecock. Sit back, twist out, oh, wrong way, hold ball. Heel, spin the ball. As it goes to the forehead, move, shuttle, flip. This is the correct way. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, spin ball, forehead flip, shuttle, cock. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel, spin, turn hips and wave. Do the two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, spin heel, two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel spin, two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel spin, two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel spin, two things. Sit back, twist out, ball, heel spin, and two things. Ready for the back step? Needle to the bottom of the sea. Half step to the back, cross the hips and waist, firm down, lift off, swipe down. One hand comes up in the center, two hands come up, then your foot, stretch that knee out, flash arms. Okay? So we're going to shuttle to the left, shuttle to the left. Sit back, shuttle to the right. Is that right? Shuttle to the right, shuttle to the left. Now, okay? What do we do to go to the bottom of the sea? Take the half step, set up the right hand, weight on the back, so therefore the tip of your toe of your front foot, you're going to come across this way. What are you going to do? Come across this way. Swipe the guy this way, but at the same time, go down. What are we going to do? Set it up, weight on the back, heavy on the back, light on the front, set it up, left hand sorta in line with your hip, of the opposite hip, left hand opposite to the right hip. This guy's going to go down like this. How is it going to go down like this? Actually, a little hunch and then go down. A little hunch and go down, but not straight down, on a little angle, okay? At the same time, this guy helps you drop and swipes. How? Helps you drop and swipe. So that the end motion, this hand comes back to this way, almost like a brush knee. Okay? So setting it up, and the front foot has to come down. What does it have to do? Set it up, and lift and down. One more time. Set it up, and down. One more time. Last time, I promise. Set it up, and down.
In the maiden, make use of body rotation. Okay? You this way, forward, rotation. You don't need to put this guy out very far. You just, and it'll be at the position where you want it to be when you rotate your hip. You're rotating your hip, you are, okay. Forward, rotation, right? So you deliver your energy with linear movement, rotatory movement, okay? And the hands go for the ride. When you're doing the needle to the bottom of the sea, here, this comes down a little bit early. So when it finishes, this is still moving. You don't want to come down. I think, if nothing else to me, it indicates you have more control, a little more refined movement if you have a difference in slight sequence or Here, coming down, push down, and this drops down. Okay. And I think Lucille made the point of in the serpent, not too high. Here, the function of this is to, just like, you don't do your single whip up here. So you don't need to do your, this is basically the same maneuver. So it's, yeah. From here, you're here, down, you stack it as much as you can, stack, and if you really have enough strength, stack, and you rotate your back and hip. The hip joint has, this stays straight, but this gives you a little bit more coming down. And if you're really good, like the young, strong people, you really can get down where you're supposed to be, but none of us can do that. So, not only just down this way, it's down, turn, and you turn your foot, but where's the power? Still home. Advance, okay? You don't have to come up here, but if you need to come up here to get your balance, fine. And all the while, you are up, Tai Chi posture. Up, Tai Chi posture. And important is to turn this. Some people don't need to do that. Some people have the power, they can go straight up. But for us, straight, this, it almost tells you, whoop. Your body is almost telling you. Yeah. So at least you should try to have your foot not straight on, but out a little bit. No, sorry. Straight and out. This makes it a little easier for us to go up. And even now, I'm sort of stretched, see? So even though I pulled myself too far, I don't have the power to be able to come up. So don't overstretch yourself. When you come this way, not too stretched, open, then you can come up. Okay, so.
You know, I look at this class and I say, you know, I know all of you and I know how much you can do, and I always end up picking up on this particular cluster of movements because I feel that all the rest of the movements aside from this cluster are passable. They're pretty good. Not saying they're top notch, but this area is the stuff that needs a lot more work. But it's going to be over a space of time because you're going to have to intake it, you're going to have to strengthen everything. And if you look at my video of what, Victor, 2007 or something, it was nowhere, you know, near to what this is. But you compare it with somebody else, but you know, you don't really compare. But there's always room to improve or refine or understand a little bit better, then make your body do that, okay, or try to do that. Also, it's really good because we talk about our 10 principles and we sort of laid it out for you. But in doing serpent, what are you doing? You're stacking, that means you're grounding yourself and obeying gravity. And then you're turning, what are you doing? Spinning on that axle. And the top matches the top, the hand that comes down, matches that bottom. And then what? You're gonna come out, you're gonna stretch, and as this guy is hooking, what are you gonna do? Adjust this guy, come this way, and then when you finally spin out again, you're on the cable, you're gonna have to spin on that axle as you come up, center yourself, and come up, golden cockerel, right? So if you take that apart and if you really logically go through your principles, you're doing all of that. So that in a nutshell is what Tai Chi is. Then once you get something like this and you do your other movements, you say, hey, I am spinning, I am shifting, and I am matching my top with my bottom. Okay? All right, let's do something easy now. let's go cloud hands, okay? Watch how I do cloud hands, okay? So we said it's a crab walk. We said we're like at faces of the clock, the face of the clock rather. And we said that we should never raise our shoulders just because the top hand says it's higher up. Everything is dropped so that your feet feel heavier. So when I'm doing this, I'm grounded here. When I lift and put this, I still am grounded. But once I pass the 12, the weight shifts. Then that 9 o'clock foot can be weightless, right? Oftentimes my 12 o'clock, the bottom hand lags. What do I mean? I advance the top hand at 12, but this guy is dragging. But ideally, this guy should be here. And what? Turning of the hips and waist. Turning of the hips and waist. So if you're not sure if you're turning your hips and waist, keep your feet stable. Turn the hips and waist. The more I turn, the more my hands get out there. But we're not looking at that far, but making the point that if you turn your hips and waist, it's sort of, and then I was very, when I started teaching 13 years ago, I said, I never want to, I'll put in a positive, I always wanted to keep what my master taught us and never forget the form. But I also remembered that when he used his instructions and I got the translation, that the bottom hand was as if it were holding a cup. And then I got to thinking, and then Ken and I were talking, and I decided that I'm going to change it. So this is how I've changed it. I come to my 12 o'clock, then I sort of form my cup just before I change the position of my hand. So why did I do that? I just felt that once I have this cup here, this shoulder was not raised, but it wasn't relaxed. So I said, clouds are floating. So I'm just going to let my body dangle a little bit more, and I'm fine with that. So I'm just passing that on to you.